The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men, all in forward-looking apparel, reminiscent of the sticker on the padlock, are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out. Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
A young man with peroxide blonde, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret.
Hardcore! Hardcore! Yeah!
This young man adds a capital G before the H in his, or maybe it's not got volume. Maybe it's Oranese. Probably an homage to Oranje, where Arno van Eyck is from, judging by his name. Could you be listening to an Arno van Eyck creation?
You know about him? You know Van Eyck? Wow!
The skinny wraith.
So am I! So am I! Oh! Is that why they call you Egghead? Because... Egghead to the mega! The K became the G! The boy became the man! The Advent?
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think? You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
And Egghead. Egg! Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers. We have many in the pipeline.
That means they haven't set up a single one yet.
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in. Oh, that's all for Tad. Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues. Oh, so you've met her? Good, good. Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face. Don't fall for it.
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended. Dopeheads!
Burnouts. Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. As we were just about to put names on the map with one of the maddest startups in Jamrock. No, strike that, in Rivershot.
Strike that! The word! And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
They're spooky. I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for. All right, man.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
Yes, I asked Noy to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. It's a temporary fix, just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
It's as if time has frozen somehow. You think you can blam straight in the eye, straight in the old eye orb. A stabbing pain. Tears stream uncontrollably from your right eye.
Man, I'm super sorry. That was totally my bad. I got overexcited.
He looks like he's genuinely sorry he didn't throw them better.
I really am sorry, man. Just take this, okay?
I hope that settles it. Or wait. The key?
He is shifting in his spot, uncomfortably, still feeling sorry for the mishap.
We were talking about the padlock, I think. Not long, like a week maybe? I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter there.
Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I'm at least 80% sure they're alive. I mean, come on. Most people aren't ever that... You're right. It is nonsense. Total garbage. I knew you'd see through.
It feels good to be the smart cop, doesn't it? That's a good cop to be. Has a nice ring to it. Smart cop. He nods attentively, ready to answer the questions of one smart cop.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it. Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses. Well, there's also the machinery.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires.
Andre!
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No! The other one!
Which other one? I'm not as in...
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it. Like you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Not human, as in a ghost? Do you know what he means?
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crabman. Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behaviour.
Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures and not known for climbing walls.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. A cell was alone that time, but I believe her.
You should ask her about it, but be nice.
There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely. Well, honestly, I can't, but I am.
This is a below feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
Hey now, I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers. Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from? Sure. What? He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremony. You know, a host, a declaimer of slow...
Interesting, sire. A bit like you.
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know. Yeah, sometimes. When I, stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first, though.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat speak for it. I get it. He's a puzzle.
Oh yeah, that's a meteor and name for the founding party.
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
You know, of Meteo, concerning Meteo. Meteo, a country on...
One of the poorest of the first world nations today, but once a great ancient civilization. Capital?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organisation. And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, made the innocentic system, no? Totally. The Pericarnassian Church is about love, and Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericarnassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. Love is hardcore.
Unity!
Unity! Make some noise for my Insulindian posse!
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters. Feels good. Feels good.
Oh yeah, he's coming around. You're getting it. Yeah! Yakokaka! The place to be!
He seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Pericarnassianism.
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if they get this club going. You've got it in you.
Yes. What? Yeah, good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water. Oh, it's the one they sell at the...
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of. He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
As always, we'll be right here.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
As always,
So yeah, the talk. It's good you talked to Andre first.
This young speed freak seems to know a lot about signs. Could he have the technical skill? His look is intensely suspicious.
A sticker? You mean the yellow one? Can you describe it to me?
Interesting. He wants you to describe it, though he already knows what it looks like.
So I can hear you do it. Sometimes the outside
Noid, don't bother our guests with your games.
Piss off, Andre. Me and Mr.
You shouldn't talk like that.
Right, noted. Sorry. Anyway, what was it like?
An off-handed sorry.
Good. What did you want to know? Yes, you're the 23rd person to get it right. And I've asked 23 people. Looks like it's a dead guy smiling. He defeated history. We are living in the age of history, and in the eyes of history, the present moment and life are the hardcore. The hardcore expels death. Or maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just really ecstatic about the beats.
He blinks, waiting for the next question.
Simplicity was brought to us by classical soul artist modernism. But that, well, all the sticker, the clothes, the music, it is. I guess one could write an entire treatise on the thing. Yeah, gotta compare. I suck at socialising. Nah. You heard me. Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural. Nothing's wrong with it.
The sickest. That's perhaps why it should be researched.
Most of it doesn't exist. But there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist. Because the psionic powers, pale-related, the hardcore aesthetic is esoteric.
It's not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of signs without some adjustment.
Yes, further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve this would be by getting us into the church. Don't think so. Big bad frequencies are extremely negative. Thought suppression, dream implantation, memory revision, pretty out there stuff. Not sure I want to get involved with it.
There is fear there, but also curiosity. He just needs a reason to help you.
Besides, our own signs aren't even synced yet. So how am I supposed to get you synced up with a big bed? It don't make any sense.
The young man with
This is hardcore. Hardcore! Hardcoreism internally coherent. Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yakokata, the place to be! Yakokata is a hardcore...
Yekokata is an abbreviation from the Gradian term, zone, an intricate system of irrigation networks pockmarking the earth.
Back to the hardcore! It's hardcore! Skibberdy, skibber danger. Vic, true, it's hardcore! Skibberdy. Vic, true, hardcore! Hardcore is a mega! Here comes the... Vikla, hardcore, internally, all core! All right! You gotta get the people going! Yeah, Rick. Vic, hardcore is internally coherent, all core! Gotta get the... I'm the party boy. It's my job. 2 on a track. Vic, true, hardcore, internal, all core. Gotta get the people. I'm the party. Hardcore party, 25/7, beyond the winter's orbit style.
There is a place far away in Katla, beyond a certain latitude, known as Winter's Orbit, where there are 25 hours in a day. It is a tremendously cold place, abandoned to drunks and failed rock stars, full of eternite, depression, and half-finished ski-flying hills. The Suru live there.
Vic, true, hard, internal, all core. Gotta get the people. I'm the party boy. Hardcore.
There is a place.
Vic, true, hard, internal, all core.
He furrows his brow as his very large head traces.
Hardcore! Ah! Is it though? But is it? I mean, really?
Feels like you should reply with the very pinnacle of idiocy here, so that things get totally
I am the mic enforcer. Victory in all
He furrows.
The question is, what is the question? But there was no... Vikla in all
He furrows.
Hardcore! The question is... But there was a question. Victory
He furrows.
Is it though? One mind. Victory hardcore, internally all core, all.
He furrows.
Hardcore! The question is, what is? But there was no question. Hi again. So, I think...
Well, first of all, the gist of it is, they want to turn the church. Plus, it still feels as if this didn't quite go as it should have.
Hi again. So, I think...
Well, first of all...
Hi again. So,
A number of things don't add up. How about gather around, kids? The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about their would-be leader, is less amused.
What things?
He senses something is wrong.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
know about spinning tape? Nothing. I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients.
And of all cellular-based life,
What do you mean, friend? It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
This may be the brain damage talk, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems.
No shit. Come on, it's not. What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
Okay, man, okay. Things are just so hard for an entrepreneur in this city right now. It's not like we lied when we said we want to turn a church into the wickedest club in East Weathershall. Because we do! We totally do! We just need to turn it into a speed lab before.
to get our foot in the door.
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up. No, man, they're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there. But the sign was way off, too. I couldn't feel the love at all. Sir, you promised you'd be lenient.
This is it. Judgment time.
Come on, man.
The young man doesn't move.
No fucking way.
Yes, fucking way.
Without a word, the other speed freak pulls a red wallet out of the toolbox. The disdain is palpable. His eyes pierce you with lightning as he lets go of the wallet.
We don't have any more money. You robbed us blind. We can continue on an amiable path, right? No more misunderstandings. No
Other than all our money.
hush noise. As always, we'll...
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church? Shoot. I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth, which isn't much.
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical delinquency.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you.
Indeed, she merely tried to omit the truth instead.
I know, but I knew you'd see through their plan too. I'm not an idiot. I should have been able to control them, and I will in the future. I promise. May I ask, what did you tell them? Oh, right. That's wise. Take your time. Oh, that.
She's less prone to blurt it out. Crap, man. than the others.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still. And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall, upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me, right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. And
Like a crab, you say?
it was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail.
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
A crab and a banger?
Yes, a banger, as in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw. Why? Nothing. Anyway, what else? My associates? I haven't got much to say about them. Of course I do.
To the cops.
Me? I'm a silver bird. Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but... My associates? Sorry.
To the cops.
Me? Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular, there's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb. Looks like today was a gold star day. The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
Let's go.
A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark inner in the heart of the city. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. With a machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
A radio computer. And it's turned on.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. A radio computer. No, I don't know how to operate it or what it's used for.
This is the Reen Prefect. The Reen Prefect is the governmental version of the commonly... You see Virescent play. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of... This is the machine's filament, a bar of fabric. Right? Oh no, it was already glowing. The static gets louder.
Good evening. Votre accident en Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulin.
This is a human interface. A retired person sitting behind a switchboard somewhere.
The filament you have inserted into the core. I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is this the person? Good.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
No.
The hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Received.
That sounds bad.
Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? The company on whose name the terminal... One moment. Votre...
That's not bad.
Any other questions? Yes, I am...
She repeats passwords. Programming people are paranoid.
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. As for me, well, I am...
Doesn't it get lonely?
Lonely?
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do for you for this accident. Sleep well.
The machine's keyboard is still... Nothing happened. Silence in this part of the church. It's all... Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, and then it's gone. It seems the sound here is that you can hardly hear your own breathing. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which your voice is barely audible. It's unnerving. The lieutenant points to his ears and...
Can you hear anything? The church just has strange acoustics.
His detached tone conceals how. Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing on its premises. The lieutenant doesn't reply, but the orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead. Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin. There's nothing. You're dizzy and disoriented as you see...
Officer, what are you looking at?
Filled with vague shapes of woodwork. You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes. Maybe it's possible to talk to it. Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpentry of the crab man. The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright.
That accent is Villalobos, a peninsula in Mesk and a district in Jamrock. There's a sizable contingent of Villalobos-speaking Mesks in Revachol. Hold on, stop it right there. Pussy, what's with this?
You really got a case of frayed nerves, pussy. And this usage comes from pusillanimous. Everybody knows that.
Oops.
Chill out, man. Here you could receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of that despair.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality. Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Está crudo, way. I see deep inside you. Your body and your spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence. And you don't even know it. Not all of it. I was like you once.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
If the lieutenant agrees, then maybe, just maybe, you should pay attention.
Fuck you, Crabman! You don't tell us what to do! Tell him!
The only thing we need to talk about is how the mother can really help you, Holmes. This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game? Whatever it is, he's quite confident about it. Just look how gracefully he sways. 'Tis not an act, my liege. Save him perchance, he hath deceived his very self. This man is a zealot.
The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Think they scared of me. Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore.
Though he used to, a long time ago.
Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Other spooker? Oh.
Viaita is Grandma?
No. I just call her Viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. That's what I said, Holmes. Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. I'm afraid not, Essay.
Or search through her radio computer.
Too many times, Essay. You need...
Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety.
Don't sweat it, Vato. The password is afterlife death.
That is true. But what comes after death?
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita Pequeña. The ones in the tent outside, right? Absolutely.
He said that in spite of himself.
Too many
surveys are...
Don't sweat it.
That is true.
What you think of that? Too many times, Essay.
Surveys are a good way. The lieutenant rate.
Don't sweat it.
That is true.
What you think of too many
surveys?
Don't sweat it.
That is true.
What you think of that? I think we're done here, Essay.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, this is Her Innocence Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among... The world is silent, but for the creaks and cracks. In the darkness, you sense her eyes on you, inspecting you with their multicolored glass. The woman looks down at you, kneeling. She towers among... She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. You. No, she doesn't care about you. She only cares about her shiny sovereign's orb and her silk robes and getting to the aerodrome on time. To leave. As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez. It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it.
On the coast of an uninhabited...
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here.
Respectful is a pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces. The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here. Well, your station was involved, I hear, although I can't be sure.
How come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is it...
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them. I'm sorry, I'm not saying you were. It was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything about it. Why? Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now. Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is Her Innocence Dolores Day. the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men. Many things, you know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene, draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? The past. No, you must know. Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state. A scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic, she was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned. Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the bystanders reported golden filaments. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Riel Belt. The highest category of historic individual, and in a way, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What? No, we are alone. 300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, as did we all, in a city called, she was dressed in a white and pearl dress. Oh yes. She looked like humanity's young. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, this inhuman quality, was witnessed by many others as well. Glowing like terrifying. Terrifying. It's a simple word. You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her terriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Mesk state tried to suggesting those who she adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb. In icons such as little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role. This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefreiter, you've stood there for over 5 minutes. What are you thinking of, if I may ask? Yes, glowing lungs are quite unusual. You know, this church, the coast, we shouldn't linger. Finish what you came here to do and let's move on. This isn't a good place to get lost in.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them. Unknown. Something during the raid the lieutenant mentioned, or just hooligans looking for something to... The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden Reichsapfel, small figures of wise men. Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, and then along the left side, Après le monde, la gré, Après le gré, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, on human thinking. Could these words be the password that unlocks the filament memory?
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more justice, union, prudence, and force. Eyes cool.
Below and then after life. Could these words be the password that unlocks the filament memory? The mother of humanism towers above you.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights. Its distant streets and motorways flash. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. That's why I chose this.
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around.
Besides, I've got a...
He's going to leave you alone again. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery. Different, of course. Something so mysterious about the way he talks. Very.
He's barely holding it together.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a...
officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Yeah, let's fuck with him. Who does he think he is? Assisting you?
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business. That's really all I can tell you about it.
What was that? You were supposed to fuck with him, not compliment that the lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated.
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanity. I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. I went back inside.
Yes, back inside. Keep yourself safe from the killing.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory... You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do. I'm afraid I don't...
About what time?
All I can say is that it was late. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM. The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. Well, I'm renovating it. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the internet... Yes, as I...
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the moral intern is joking or not.
It is the most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy, which is essential for maintaining...
Basically, it makes sure the...
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the... A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available, it's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
But of course. Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
Me?
You've managed to catch the lieutenant off guard, but only for a moment. He quickly...
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM.
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
The Occident is part of the normal world. Martinez? No. Martinez is something else. Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Not boring, my friend. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology... Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? What's there to say? Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries.
Darlings, that can't be an official designation.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, Oranje is an exemplary nation. As founding members, they are both Oranje's economy.
But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje.
About what? Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run... Whatever you wish, office. Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential... That it's never going to happen. They enter negotiate... EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved...
God, yes. Sweet stand...
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. A supranational political alliance. You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have to. It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS.
Except that candidate members never become...
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even But we were talking about my friend here, not politics. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Or au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here. Sorry, who? But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his He's deeply enmeshed in the... He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. I'm just enjoying the view.
A dead body we still need to get down.
Listen. The Insulindian Bay. My friend comes and goes.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I'm all ears, officer. My friend. Sorry, but I told you, officer. Officer, he's a truly free spirit. I'm just enjoying the view. We're old friends. I'm sure you'll see him around. Sorry, who? But he's deep. He's a truly... I'm just enjoying... Listen, the Insulindian Bay. My friend comes and...
A busy bee?
I'm all ears, officer. A moment. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be...
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Sure, go ahead. Was there anything else? I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Because I did...
He's clearly not a man accustomed to being spoken to in that manner, let alone...
What's the meaning of this?
He sounds almost mocking.
There is no meaning, sir.
Back off. Now. This man has diplomatic immunity. It serves no good to accuse him of a crime he didn't commit.
Well, I was on the balcony when it happened. That's when I understood.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious. Or at least...
I couldn't tell you exactly. I went back inside.
Yes.
Were you able to...
Officer... I believe they were mostly white. So, well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. Eventually, their shower... I'm afraid I don't...
About what?
All I can say... My watch. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight. Give or take. No, I didn't see the corpse. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more... Of course.
Yes?
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Cop habit. This isn't case related, you think. Hard to say. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry. According to the cafe, the driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building, before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
No wonder the cafeteria manager seemed frustrated when he was giving us directions to the yard. Well, you did provide us with a very convenient access point to the crime scene.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in one standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes, number 46, just like Titus was wearing in his booth. This is the big dick, Titus Hardy. Is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. Putting them on the scene is easy. Made 2, standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. Either the blonde muscular guy. 3, hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes. 4, standard work boot. Number 5, another standard work boot, reinforced. 6, light as air. Same, better late than never, detective. 7, the glowing outline of a standard. 8, another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole. The right sole is smoother, more worn.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardy Boys were here. That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary?
Note to self. This would be a good question to ask.
I'm guessing that's the skinny Hardy Boy. The one with his front teeth missing. Yes, well, he did look a bit like a rat. I could still be wrong, but I'm probably not. 200. This could be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say a heavy...
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows.
Maybe the carrier wanted to impress his peers, demonstrate his physical might.
Even easier to carry on a stretcher, or between 2 men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can you... 200?
He might be right. 2?
Possibly.
But why?
Yes.
Maybe the carrier...
I'm not assuming it isn't, but it's still helpful. Is there anything else? Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the missing Hardy Boy.
Oh, this one's easy. Way too easy. It's a driver.
With a piece of sandpaper glued to the throttle. Which means that the missing lady driver was also present at the lynching? That's it. She's the Old Soul. Now we know who's the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation? You're right. but we should still go and see what Titus Hardy has got to say on the matter. This might throw them off, work in our advantage. So, what else? Interest with a piece of sand, which means that the missing lady... Now we know who's the missing 8th person. We should start with Titus Hardy. See what he's got to say on the matter. A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day...
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have...
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing...
Indeed.
So far, so good. Only one thing missing.
Of course, there were 8 tracks, but there are only 7 Hardy boys.
Which one is missing, do you think? I'm going to... Yes. I doubt the Hardys are going to tell us much, but we should still confront them about the possible drug trade connection.
Does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't...
Droplets of rain fall on the white on blue police livery. Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. This is a Caprice Kanema with its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox. The Kanema is able to reach 100. The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin. Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
You want to take a closer look? Yes. An extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? But helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring. Maybe. Yes, definitely maybe.
And means no.
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
7.2. Supercharged.
Saying these words. The stage is all set up.
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
The stage is all...
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the...
I can see that.
The air is thick with anticipation. Someone dims the lights as the music starts. A lump's in your throat suddenly.
I would often go there to the tiny church there, the smallest church in Sansan. Though it once was larger, how the real may rest there, down through the mist there, towards the Seven Sisters, towards those pale cliffs there. I would often stay there in the tiny yard there. I have been so glad here, looking forward to the past here. But now you're all alone. None of this matters. At all.
Do you hear that? It's the most pathetic applause in the world, Harry, made of pity. No one liked you. Someone walks out of the room by the front door. Some woman. Is it because of you?
That's it. I'm unplugging it.
That's it.
Let's go, officer. These people wouldn't know a good performance if it beat them in the ass. Detective Dubois, it was downright tragic. Now, let's go.
I mean it, he thinks. To him, being a cop in the RCM was truly expressed in that performance. The stage is...
So...
I can see that.
The air is thick with... And someone dims the lights as the music starts. Okay, here we go.
I would often go there, to the tiny church there, the smallest church in Sansan. Though it once was larger, how the real may rest there, down through the mist there, toward the Seven Sisters, toward those pale cliffs there. Hi there. In that tiny yard there, I have been so glad here. Looking forward to the past here. But now, you are all alone. None of this matters. No, none of this matters at all.
A lazy applause fills the room. You feel your hands shake as awareness of your body returns to you. The microphone amplifies your voice in an uncomfortable...
Good. Are we ready? I want to unplug the microphone now.
Last words?
Yes?
Ah, smallest church in Saint-Saëns, right? Cool. Now, what can I do for you?
You see a heavy steel door. The door does not.
Hey, was there something you need? Another thing. Great. Oh, yes, that door. Sure. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to...
Wondering about it is, of course.
Or some boring storage space.
He's attempting to maintain an air of... He looks at the dust on his finger.
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. It's not strange, it's inconvenient. Who told you that? Fine, yeah, it looked like someone had messed with the wiring. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the repair bill. Yes?
These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose. You're a little more moralist now, buddy. Makes sense. It's getting late, and it's raining.
Good night, officer.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer. The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. The waves are beginning to die down.
Oh yes, she does. You need to get your drink on. There is no other way for human beings to procreate. Not after 6,000 years of yeast cultivation.
Now there's a whole shipment of big words.
She doesn't even understand you asked her out. Perhaps you're too sober to pull it off right now. Try again later.
Oh, that's good to know, I guess. That's great.
Sire, she doth not believe it wasn't you.
You never know, officer. Some... The waves are beginning to die down.
You think she really needs more of that after a... What if I told you it is actually possible to go on a date sober? Before recorded history, men and women were able to do simple, very primitive things together sober. Acknowledge the situation and keep it basic.
I have, and I don't really. Just a walk? I don't know, officer. I would not have taken you for an innocent perambulator. Where would this walk take us, officer? All right, I will walk with you. But you need to understand that nothing is going to happen. We're just walking. Me too. It's been ages since I just had a normal conversation with one of you guys. All right, I'll go put the kids to bed and we'll meet at Land's End in 15 minutes.
She doesn't wait for an answer. You better get ready. just dead and poor. The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust.
Aye, so here you are. It's late and it's raining. Water is cold. Know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples.
Across the rusty water, that's La Delta, the financial district. In the mist-covered distance, towers rise as a rebuke to the poverty of this coast.
Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments. Aye, you're the starriest of them all.
Her laughter is throaty and warm. It rhymes with the waves and the cries of the gulls.
Here it comes.
So fast as to make it seem like the weather turns at her command.
Me? No. Just grew up on the sea. Know which way the winds. Knew the weather'd clear up once we got here. Otherwise, it would have been a less pleasant stroll, nay?
You should say something. Anything. Maybe the tequila sunset thing.
It's a common Revacholian expression. Means drinking yourself to death. And what about you? Keeping the name? Can't wait to hear it.
The remains of the dying sun are reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea fortress juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else. The sun does little for the dead, and those hopelessly lost in their own minds. Or people living in desert climates with sparse vegetation and little drinking water.
Oh, that was a bit of pride and a bit of superstition.
And a bit of conceptual unity too, it being yellow and all. There's salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skuas, grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles. But still your gaze always returns to the dazzling streaks of light.
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side, no matter what we do or who we are, for absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being, certainly no powerful organization or government. How can that be? I guess we wouldn't really be here if that thing wasn't on our team.
Say what? Something interesting? Impossible.
Hi. Brains generally aren't very good, are they? I prefer backs, arms, shoulders. The wind's gonna pick up soon, and I have to go, but... Have this. The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things. No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me. Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Farewell.
The old woman's. The buzz of... There's a gap where the name of that song should be. You should ask her about it right now.
Yes, I can't really sleep. My suggestion is, don't. A lullaby my mother used to sing. Yes, it does. A lullaby. Surrender.
That's kind of grim for a children's song, even if it is a lullaby.
Yes, it does. I can wash it for you. But it's going to take about a half an hour. Think.
Hell yeah.
Well, hand it over then. Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you'll have an easier life in your hands. Our tenant, the police...
I see you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Still running around. Like some kind... Hi. I guess you do. The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. I see you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Aye, but don't let it grow too much. This is not the place to settle down. Now. Oh? Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
It's getting cold, this late in the... On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. An old mirror. The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. The bed underneath you is soft, if lumpy. Waves wash the sand underneath the hut. then grow distant to your ear. In the quiet hum of the organic heater, you fall asleep.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes tight.
How have things been going for you out there? Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer.
Hear that? He doesn't even flinch. It's much, much worse than that.
We're trying to help you. All
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage.
in hell, an ancient sadness.
Everything is so okay. Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them...
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window.
We're close. True, hard. It's hardcore. Skibberdy. Hi again. So,
And? What happened? Oh, man. Who is he? What did you think? Really? Huh. Interesting. What's he doing in the church?
No matter. Is he gonna be...
Yeah.
These guys will never catch him. You will never catch him. There's nothing to do.
I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice, friendly hyper time?
I guess it's not a massive problem. Now that
everyone is welcome. Maybe. I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, but what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes? Did you see her? But do let us know if something, as always...
The machine's keyboard, the speaker comes to...
Good morning. Good. Please repeat the password. Good. I have unlocked the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? One portrait.
That's not bad.
Any other questions? Good.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated. The printer prints out a long text document. The first entry, made on the 4th of February, arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. See? Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. 7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Esca series, something advanced.
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know.
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Something about the backup data getting destroyed. And how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Her friends? Colleagues?
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
"25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow."
Is she talking about?
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence, with a diameter of approximately 3 meters.
The Pillar of Silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, The song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good. I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
Well, you won't find any music venue organizers here. It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
The mother of humanism stands.
What is it? No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper. I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must...
Nope. Yes. No, you're right. I'm not. I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. I use the AR1 as my RAIN prefix process. Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna. I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare...
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien.
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point?
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
They are connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks. So you do know something about computers. You're right. No, I don't. Because I needed something good for my investigation and Rain. Besides, owning a Rain prefect isn't such a big deal. I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for the Coalition. I was actually aiming for... Prefect is mainly based on the same tech... Great.